Alright, we're back with another Puppy's Hobbies kit. I believe this was a subscription kit a while ago. I've had it on hand for a while and I've just never got around to doing it, so I figured I would do it today with you guys. You get 3 different pieces of wood cut in different sizes. This is what the kit will look like when we're done. So you get the wood, you get these stencils, which I'll show you how to use those. 2 colors of paints, yellow and black, some embellishments, twine, your squeegee card, and then a sponge brush. Let's get started. All right, so I have our wood pieces laid out for us. We're gonna start by painting those yellow. Doing 4 coats on top. I did pull out, well, let me move my fan too. I have a fan blowing to help dry the paint, and I brought my heat gun out, or if you have a blow dryer, that works too, to help the paint dry a little faster. You want to make sure that your paint is dried completely because we are putting stencils on top of these pieces. So we don't want to have any of the yellow paint pull up with our stencils. That would not be fun. You could fix it, but just be better if you're patient, take your time with this one, completely let your paint dry. An easy way to tell if your paint is dry, it'll be, because sometimes the top layer will feel dry, but if you touch it, like these 2 don't feel like they are completely dry. They're a little cool to the touch, and you can just kind of tell if you touch them, but I don't have any paint coming up, but I can just tell that they're a little wet underneath that top layer. I'm gonna set these aside, bring in our big piece. Now these are meant to stand up, so you want to make sure that when you put your stencil, you're working in it from, like, this is the bottom and that's the top. At first I was working with, like, this is the top and bottom, and I was like, wait, that's not gonna work so well when I try to stand those up. So again, she has a little tab on here, a little tab to help pull it. Stand up so I can see. These ones you kind of want to focus on the end of the H, or the H and the Y, to make sure that those are in the right spot. All right, we got that down. I'm going to take our little squeegee card and gently push down around the cutouts. Then there's a clear layer. It's got the blue stripes on it, your transfer tape, and you want to pull that off. right, I'm gonna go in again with my squeegee and make sure all of these, I've never worked with this stencil vinyl before. I've made stencils out of regular vinyl. And what I like to do is go in with some Mod Podge, which I have from previous kits. And I go in and I go over the cutouts, and I go in all directions to make sure that the Mod Podge is hugged up nice to the edge of the stencil in all directions to help from my paint from bleeding, especially on wood. I've kind of struggled with bleeding on my paint bleeding on wood pieces when I try to do a stencil on top. This one in the little instructions, she said, be patient, take your time, and this, like I said, especially with this one with the stencil, you want to take your time, don't rush this one, because you want each step to dry. Let that dry. We'll come back and paint our black paint over it. All right, so I put the stencils on all 3 pieces and Mod Podged them all. Now we're going to use our black paint and a paintbrush, which did not come in the kit. You could use your, oh, this one has yellow on it already. It's okay, we're doing black, it'll cover it up. You could use your sponge brush. I have a bunch of brushes, so I figured I would use this for the small details and make it a little easier. As you can see, I'm kind of going back and forth, just like I did with the Mod Podge, going all different directions to make sure that I get up to the seam of the stencil, to make sure that I have that crisp line when I take the stencil off. And I can kind of see, I don't know if it's picking up on the camera, but I can kind of see some of the yellow through the black. So I'm gonna let these dry, do a second layer, and then I will come back and we'll pull the stencils off and see how we did. All right, so we have the black painted. I did 2 coats on all 3 pieces. Now let's reveal, hopefully our yellow paint was dried all the way. All right, sorry about that. My storage was full, so I had to fix that. Oop. So far, it's looking pretty nice. I don't have any paint bleed through the stencil, except for that, which that was my bad. Nice crisp lines. I'll go in with my yellow and touch up those spots. All right, so I got all the stencils off. I did put a little yellow over that, but it's black, so it's gonna be hard to cover up. But we do have these cute black embellishments, so I think I'm gonna stick those on there and hide my little slip there. Here's the smallest one with the bumblebee. And then the medium one that says "Be Sweet." And there's our finished trio, our honeycombs.